It's unfortunate that Nigerian government doesn't recognize it. It's just a matter of pride. It's a matter of pride. They said Nigerians cannot wear a second clothes or garment that people have worn. So Obasanjo regime said no. We have to produce our own in Nigeria. And where you see us in Congo Democratic, Congo Republic, Gabon, Cote d'Ivoire, we are everywhere flying this thread. We are in Guinea, we are in Gambia, all this Senegal, you see, anything concerning used clothing, it is from the Abiriba people. You can see in Nigeria, if it is not because of politics there, you see, Abiriba people who have been honored in the manufacturing sectors because we have AMSCO. He was dealing in plastics, everything, plastics, textiles. You can hear of the late chief Omuka Kalo of Omuka High Tech. He was the youngest Nigerian businessman who made his millions below the age of 20 then. So he ventured into the steel and metal industry. In the paper industry, you have Dubik, you have also Noko. Noko, these people are late. But when you go to Werenta, it was Chief Nana Kano, he has a paper mill there, and Noko, they have paper mill there, and talk of Dubik. So all these people, in the brewery industries, you have Dubik breweries. I am Honorable Chief Spence Nkobe Obo Kano. I am the current president of Angmeke Development Association, ADA, Cotonou branch, having served in various capacities as the president of my age grade here and the executive member of the ACIU, Abra Communal Improvement Union, Cotonou branch. And I have served in various positions in the Igbo community and Nigerian in diaspora organization here in Cotonou, Benin Republic. I am a businessman. I have been a freelancer journalist some time ago, but I'm here basically for business. So I came here 1980 here in Benin Republic. 80-81 I was here, just immediately after my secondary school and higher school days. I came over here. And my master was the late Chief Odo Kaluduka. Then here in Benin Republic, I can tell you authentic evidence that Abiriba people were the first people who started this used clothing business in Cotonou, Benin Republic. Though our people have been here before the advent of the Nigerian Biafra Civil War, they have been here in the late 50s, having come down from Finlandapo, Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon. They migrated down here. Now the war in Nigeria scuttled this business. But immediately the war ended, many people started trooping here, especially people from the east. The only known person that I can remember now who was not an Abiriba origin is one Mr. Okontido. Okontido is from Calabar, Akwa Ibom side. So he was here, though he is no more. I'm telling you, the earlier people who have been here, like the Chiga brothers, the Ezeras, before these other people that he was there before now, Dubik, the late Dubik. He has a branch here. He was a very versatile businessman. He's late now. This thing opened doors for so many of our people, the way we do our business. There are people who undergo training. So immediately you have your master, he will train you after some 5, 6, 7 years. Then you will be on your own. He will give you the capital and you start on your own. The same way you will carry other people who will serve you. This is the way we were growing. Not only we collect people from Abiriba, no, even from the other areas, the neighboring towns in the east. They followed and were here with us. So that's the way we have been piloting this business. And because of the situation in Nigeria, this used clothing was only thriving here and it was being smuggled to Nigeria. History has it that this okreka, we call okreka, used clothing. There is a town or community in Rivers State we call Okreka town because that place they used to wear second-hand clothing. It was not known. After a while, to make people know the used clothing, we now call it Okreka. So that's how it came about. And our people have been responsible in introducing this business here, not only in Benin Republic, in Togo, in Ghana, even some who migrated to Niger Republic, man, they were doing this used clothing business, including used shoes, used handbags, and every other thing that comes on the used clothing. Now we have things like the uh, domestic and electrical appliances, electronics, used one, everything used now started coming because our people over there in Europe, so they started picking this thing from streets. And some were working with Red Cross people, buying from Red Cross and pushing it down here. That's why the business now expanded and thrived. But it's unfortunate that Nigerian government doesn't recognize it. It's just a matter of pride. It's a matter of pride. They said Nigerians cannot wear a second clothes or garment that people have worn. Uh-huh. So Obasanjo regime said no. We have to produce our own in Nigeria and wear it. It is okay, it is good. But then, since we were not able to produce to meet up the capacity of the growing population in Nigeria, now nearing 250, 260 million. So the local production cannot meet up. Therefore, the used clothing business started thriving. Now, other people from other areas veered into it, entered and started doing the business. Not only Nigerians, we now have the Lebanese, we now have the Indians, we have all people from the Asiatic region started trooping down here to do it. Even some Europeans started opening outlets here to trade on these goods. But the pioneers, the founders, and people who are engineering this thing are Igbo people from the Abiriba extraction. So that's how it has been. It's an open business. Here, everything is legalized. It is okay so long as you bring your used clothing. It is inspected in Europe and here without any arms, no drugs, no anything contraband or prohibited by the government. It is okay. You pay your duty and sell locally here or see means to send it across. Cameroonians do come here. Congo people used to come here. Gabon, all this West African uh, region, their tradesmen used to come here and buy. That's why we have veered into other areas. You see us in Congo Democratic, Congo Republic, Gabon, Cote d'Ivoire, we are everywhere flying this thread. We are in Guinea, we are in Gambia, all this Senegal, you see, anything concerning used clothing, it is from the Abiriba people. They are all there, even as I'm talking to you. You see, we have our footprints there. They are still doing the business till now because the way we do make everything open, that we know the trend and the techniques inside it. You teach your brother, you teach your friend, you teach your servant. If he follows it very well, he becomes a master. Whatever you can do, you will do it very well. Somebody trained me, and I have trained lots of people. More than 15 now are on their own. Even some who are not on the used clothing business, who have ventured into the electronic side, computers and all that. but on the used side because it is cheaper. The same way we bring used tires, used cars, second-hand vehicles, and anything you can think of. You see, even it is what, from the way it was driving that the international Chamber of Commerce under WTO now put it under HS code. Otherwise, used clothing have no HS code in the international trade. It is now that it has a code because when they see that it's a very large growing business enriching the economy of Benin and other neighboring countries, they now have to look into it and was given a code. So that is the way it has been. And not only that, Abiriba people have been so enterprising, so hardworking. It is not because I'm an Abiriba man that I'm saying this. It is a real fact. You can see in Nigeria, if it is not because of politics there, you see Abiriba people who have been honored in the manufacturing sectors because we have AMSCO. It was dealing in plastics, everything, plastics, textiles. When you talk in terms of, you can hear of the late Chief Omuka Kalo of Omuka High Tech. He was the youngest Nigerian businessman who made his millions below the age of 20 then. So he ventured into the steel and metal industry, followed by Okam Steel, Lekwa Metals. So all these people, though some of them are moribund, they are not existing, but the history is there, and they have been able to pass it down to the new generations. In the paper industry, you have Dubik, you have also Noko. Noko, these people are late, but when you go to Werenta, it was Chief Nana Kano, he has a paper mill there, and Noko, they have paper mill there, and talk of Dubik. So all these people in the brewery industries, you have Dubik breweries. So even Nigerian Breweries Limited took the brand. We have Dubik larger beer in Nigeria. It was from Abiriba man, and it was the first. They were the first people, private people who opened up breweries. But in this country, it is a whole country, a whole nation that have one brewery. But down east, you can see Abiriba man, him alone having a brewery before that people ventured into it. In the chief author, Iba Bayota, with partnership with the German who produced and was selling high malt, Otter Malta then, you see. So in the confectionaries, we have so many people where we have these malted biscuits from Chief Ebro, and the rest. They were three or so that pulled up their resources together and opened up biscuit manufacturing industry in Aba, and it was of the highest quality. In minerals, we have the Falcon 7-Up bottling company from Okam, and we have that one from Chief Omuka Kano, Gwenye Jubi. So he also have a soft drink, Intersoft, in Aba. So our people ventured into various areas. That one, it is not all over the world. The late Chief Nana Kano, he is the sole importer of stockfish in Nigeria, and he has a franchise. He registered with Norwegian government in the Scandinavian countries, where you talk of Denmark, Norway, Poland, those Arctic regions, because this stockfish thrive there very well. So it was our man, our father, the late Chief Nana Kalaba Wodikizo. He was bringing this stockfish from Norway before he opened to other people. You see, from Aaron Dizog, they were bringing in till now. You see, the greatest import up to now in Aba, it is the Abiriba people. Foremost And that same Chief Nanakalo, he was one of those people who started transport company, Business Express. So Business Express was thriving. They were running within the East Interland. Before other people came, now you have Chidebere, you have Young, you have also many people. But when we are talking of the pioneers, these are some of the people who started it before they entered into other business ventures. And the floor mills, we are also there. Which one? Okay, when we talk about restaurant, Ndafia restaurant, this is the person who left Nigeria and went overseas to learn the art, the system. They are preparing nutritious diets over there. So at the beginning, people will say, how can you live here and go to overseas to learn how to cook? Come, my mother will teach you. They don't know this thing have upgraded. There is a certain level where you will serve the local European dishes, cuisine. So this Ndafia went there. And that Ndafia is still thriving now. Some of these, they have ventured into palm plantation and some into the poultry farms. Most of the Abiriba people have farms scattered everywhere, you see. So we are all in bottling company. This pure water, something, Quanta, we ventured in. Anything that will give money, genuinely, we were there. And it's still there now. Other young men are coming up, venturing into hotel business. So we are almost everywhere, everywhere. And now, because we are traders, we are business people, we say, okay, we'll now enter into education. That's where because before we didn't give it a priority. Otherwise, we would have gone far. Because all our men who are overseas, they are professors, lecturers in good universities. When you talk about universities in London, in US, Abra people are there and they are great lecturers and professors over there. Here in Abiriba, when we talk about the earliest people during the Biafran War that collaborated to, produce the Ogbunigwe, Abiriba man was there. He is a scientist. So that's the way we have gone into. In broadcasting, in plays, these Nigerian films, we are all there. We have ventured far and wide because when you get money, you'll be able to use it for other areas. Just like diversify. You don't know when that business will go down. Then the other area you ventured into will help you to stand above water. So that's the way we have been doing to leverage the life now is a survival of the fittest. Otherwise, if it is not this use floating, I can't leave my way from Angmeke Abreba and Abreba to come down here. Far place like this. It is because I'm looking how to sustain my life and those people around me. And the Abreba people have this legacy of investing in human development. That's why we nurture our junior brothers, our in-laws, our friends, our brothers. You invest in them at a certain time. When you are old, these people will take over. You pass the baton to them. And if you are lucky enough, they will also sustain you at your old age. Just as you can see this Opism, you see, it's my cousin. I nurtured him, I brought him here. He's doing very fine. And through him, he's feeding other. When these magazines, they are employing hundreds of people. So he's an employer of labor. But we were the beginners. We were the first parents to do this. So if I put in more years, I have retired by having performed my Uche ceremony this last year. But I still have more years to put in. I'm 65 years plus. 65 solid good years. And I still believe God can add more 20, 25 years to me because we have I'm targeting by God's grace 120 years before I leave this planet Earth. So I will be able to imbibe, leave legacies, teach the people on the way of life. Life is good, but many people now want it fast. And that is why people are dying, spoiling their hand in some diabolic things and other things that is not good for us as Igbo people and for us as Nigerians in diaspora.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You just concluded very well. So, what is your advice to the
I have many advice for them already. By the grace of God, I'm in a place or a position of authority. As I'm leaving you now, I'm going for a meeting again. So I'm telling them, first of all, to know God. Because with God, all things are possible. Really knowing God, not saying if God fail me today, I will go to the other side. If your yes is yes in God, He will lift you up. Let them go with truth and honesty. Hard working. Hard working does not mean that you pull down this wall. Whatever you want to do it consistently, do it perfectly. You see God helping you out. Even men will admire you. So let them leave all these frivolities. Let them face life as it comes and be obedient, be gentle, work hard, trust God, go with truth and sincerity. The labor of the just cannot go unnoticed. God will see them through.